So you can
Yeah, the Foundation for Complex Healthcare Solutions, we're very grateful for the funding to do this study and to look at the OPT2LIV medical protocols and the modalities of care that we're giving other people. And it was to kind of compare that to just kind of what traditional medicine is maybe offering today. And so that was kind of a big piece of it. We ended up using the short form survey, 36 question that is a pretty standard, they call it an instrument. Actually, in the research industry, it's the Centers for Medicaid, Medicare Services, NIH uses it in a lot of their research. And so we use that same tool to look at where someone was from a quality of life perspective at the beginning and then at the end. And this ended up being about a 6-month process, and we met with the participants, I think, 10 times in a virtual session that lasted about 30 minutes. And it was really from the questionnaires, they met with you, Amy, and then you would put together a personalized plan. And then as a coach, then I would say, hey, let's try to get this into your life, right? And so after 10 of those sessions, that's where these results came from. And we had 80 participants in it. But it was interesting as we went through it because if you think about it, the timing of this was when COVID was ramping
right at the
up.
beginning of the pandemic.
And so we're going to see great benefits. Everybody's going to see that here in a second. But I want everybody to remember that we also had a pandemic. And it surprised me as I looked at it. Indiana across the nation isn't the best in health. And I'm going to highlight some of that stuff as well as I go through this.
Yes, we actually came up with the idea for the study and the proposal months, like at least 6 months before the pandemic even began. So this was all being implemented, and then boom, the pandemic hit.
So amidst all those things, all those moving pieces, we saw role functioning. This is the whole, all people in it, 19% improvement in role functioning. And that's physical. So that would be things like using the vacuum cleaner, right? I mean, just anything in your day that you might lifting
your activities
objects
of daily
or
living
moving
that
around
you
the
want
house
to be
and
able
that kind
to
of
do.
stuff. So that was good. That was number one across everyone. And I just wanted to highlight in the state of Indiana where we rank. And
in general, our general
this is
population,
a general overall health
of Indiana.
And this was a study that was brought about by the United Health Foundation. And so they do this across the nation, and it's used to help policymakers and advocates and individuals better understand the population health across the different states. Social and economic, we were about 36%. So the best in the country would be 100%, and the worst in the country would be 0. Physical environment, we 46%, so we were almost halfway. Clinical care, we ranked 24% for available clinical care. That was effective, and it's decreasing. I was like, oh, that's not good. Behavioral was 28%, and it's decreasing. So
like
those last
behaviors.
So it's screaming. Indiana's screaming for this kind of stuff, right? And so we're excited to be able to offer that as much as possible to people. If we look at gender, so the results across the gender, the females had the biggest improvement, 24% improvement for role functioning physical. So they were the ones across the global that were kind of driving that, obviously. Male had the biggest improvement, 26% in pain. So I thought that was interesting. And in general health, the males had 20% improvement over general health in total. And then it gets into the age. Now this is interesting because it's what you would think, kind of. So you had the youngest saw the biggest improvement, right? Actually, the second place was the 60 to 69-year-old ages. The 50 to 59 was third, and fourth was the 70 to 79-year-old. But why I'm saying that is that, John, across all of our participants had the highest improvement. So, and your wisdom unit is in that last category somewhere. I'm not going to say exactly.
Yes.
somewhere in there. So
You're
the
so
point,
kind.
so the point is
Just a
that
number.
even though in the study that showed the smallest results, if you, and we'll get into this in a minute, do what you did in this study,
Engagement.
you're going to be you're going to have the biggest improvement over anyone in the study, and that was you. Amy calls it the gold star.
Thanks for tuning in to our OPT2LIV podcast today. If you would like to learn more information about us, check us out at OPT2LIV.com.